we hit the NPC West Coast Classic in Riverside this weekend, and it was a great show, man. A lot of competitors, a lot of talent there. It was me and my client's first show together, Darren, and or Instagram name Darren Arnold. And in reality, we went in there. We wanted to get nationally qualified. He hit 3 classes. He hit True Novice, Novice, and Open Class D. And the guys that showed up at these shows, at this show in particular, was the high quality athletes. You know, we did pretty well. You know, he got second in Open, first in True Novice, and second in Novice. The person we lost to did take the overall, so you know I feel really great about where we stand. And we got a little bit of progress to make. We're 3 weeks out again, but a little more conditioning. You know, he had great size. We peaked exactly perfect. You know, so it worked very well. My client, he has a fast metabolism. He has great genetics. When we started, he was 185 pounds and pretty skinny. You know, we had abs, but so I wanted to build him up. So we went through a bulking process, and through our bulking process, we used a lot of red meats, high carbs, a lot of refeeds on his weak body parts. You know, to increase the calories on those days. You know, and his body reacted very well to how I wanted it to. You know, he grew in the right areas. We got him up to 210 in a couple months from 185. That's extreme growth. You can't do that without a great appetite and just forcing calories in. You know, and I didn't expect him to grow that fast. I was hoping to get to 210. So once we got to 210, we started cutting, and now that I was able to see his body and see how it reacted to food, I kept his calories pretty high. His cardio was very minimal. I mean, he did about 15 minutes of cardio was his max cardio. His body reacts very well to the food manipulation. You know, I worked a steady diet with cheat meals for the first month, and then we went into a carb cycling, and I kept his carb cycle pretty high. His carb cycle, his low days, he was eating 300 grams of carbohydrates. His high day, he was eating 800 grams of carbohydrates. You know, and eight cups of, well, so it's 8 to 16 cups of white rice a day. You know, and his body did real well. I wanted to get him ready for show early, and we did that. You know, he started cutting down too fast, and I had to just let him cruise in the show. And so I added some fruits in, and then we got into peak week, cut carbs. I mean, we went through exactly like planned, just like we wanted. We hit exactly every goal that we wanted to. So, you know, the only problem we really had was his body reacted and cut too fast. Like he would drop weight fast. Any small manipulation to his diet, his body would react instantly, which is great, you know. But sometimes it reacts too fast, you lose a little size, and I didn't want to do that. So we had him cruising the show, and when he cruised in the show, you know, we got into peak week about 195 pounds. So he was 10 pounds up from when we started, still at shredded. And then I think he stepped on stage probably close to around the same as we pulled water and added carbs in to probably still sat about 195. So, I mean, in reality, he's a blessing to work with. His body is easy, and you know his genetics are great, and he follows direction to the T. You know, if you want results in this industry, you have to follow an exact plan, because when we communicate, I tell him what I need. He does, you know, he does what I tell him. You know, and without him doing exactly what as I tell him, you know, it's going to mess everything up. Like, for example, say he wasn't doing the cardio, or if he was not getting as many meals in or something like that, and then I was thinking he was, you know, and then I make adjustments, and then he has to make adjustments to compensate for the stuff that he lied about not doing, you know, and that's where competitors mess up a lot, you know what I mean? So somebody that follows the plan exactly, it's gonna work, you know. So me and Mark are friends, first off, and then I became his client, and then we started working together. And what happened is I wrote out Darren's diet, and I talked with Mark about it personally, you know. I'm like, how does this look? And he says it looks good, you know, and I show him pictures, you know, and we kind of collaborate on it, you know what I mean? And if he tells me to change something, I change it, you know. That's how I'm learning. You know what I mean? But I'm not just jumping into this, and I'm just not doing it just single-handedly myself. You know, you're a lot stronger with two heads, and especially when you got the first ever men's physique Olympian right there next to your side. I mean, it's a win-win. You know what I mean? So, Mark has taught me a lot. You know, that guy's super knowledgeable. You know, so now after the show's done, you know, we did want to have an overall. You know, I personally don't think you should go into a national show without an overall under your belt, unless you just want to get stage time and feel the experience. But me personally, I'm not going to go hit the national stage until I get overall. I don't recommend it to my athletes. It's so what we want to do next is we want to hit July 6th muscle contest. It's a different promoter. It's in Vegas, so that's right where I live, and it's going to be easy for me to be able to get him into his peak week and hit the stage and be very comfortable, have his food and everything right on point. Now we're going to hit just open class this time. We're not going to do novice. We're going to want to hit an open class and take an overall and open. And really what we're working on right now is adding a little bit of cardio at separate times just to get his body going a little bit better and bring in more conditioning. You know, a little more conditioning is going to work good. I was online coaching him most of the time, so I wasn't able to be there in person to see how he looks. You know, pictures don't do him justice for how big he actually is in real life. You know, I'm a bodybuilder and a heavyweight bodybuilder at that, and when I'm around this guy, I don't feel big. He's a pretty big men's physique competitor, you know, and that being said, I'm going to cut him down a little bit harder and a little bit more, and then fill him out and peak him right again, and just go in and kill the show. You know, just do our best. Obviously, you never know who's going to show up, but I feel like he's ready for everything now. You know what I mean? His posing was a little bit off this last show, but that being said, almost every competitor that goes on stage their first time doesn't know how important posing is. To me, posing is half of the competition. You could have the greatest physique on the stage, but if you can't present yourself correctly, I mean, that's what bodybuilding is. Otherwise, it'd just be body. You know what I mean? Just your body, just your physique. You know, but it's actually bodybuilding. You know, and the presentation of it. For me, I love presentation. I love doing my routine. That's my favorite part of the show as a bodybuilder. You know, being able to go out there and express myself. You know, and so we had to sit down with Mark Anthony, you know, the next day after the show for breakfast, and, you know, really got into the facts of him saying, you know, hey, if you're going to do this, do this. You know what I mean? Posing's a big part of it, and you need to find the poses that fit your body best. Don't go out there and just watch videos of someone else posing and follow their posing routine and steal their stuff, you know, because they have a different body than you do. You know what I mean? So in reality, what you need to do is you need to find out what looks good with you and how to present yourself the best way. You know what I mean? Everybody has a little flaw. Everybody has their best pose and their worst pose. You know, so we need to find his best poses and his worst poses and really work towards that direction and find his style of posing.